Good afternoon. It's Thursday. It's 3:08 and it's time for you to be adrenalized. That's right, folks. It's time to get that blood flowing and get re-energized. Why? Because you're here. You're alive and it's time to be motivated to live your best life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tom Marino Show. I am your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, I think I jinxed it, people. I think I jinxed it. I said how every week it's a beautiful Thursday out there, and today we do not have a beautiful Thursday. It's raining. But you know what is beautiful about it? Is our trees are getting the water that they so need. The grass is coming back to life. It was burnt all summer long, and the rain is a beautiful thing. So we will enjoy that it's a beautiful day, despite the weather not being that gorgeous, sunny, blue skies. But you know what? They're right behind the clouds. That's where it is all the time, right behind the clouds, everyone. You know, I am so glad that we are here today. It is another Thursday. It is September 22nd. I cannot believe it. It is fall. I think it's officially fall. And it is time for transitions to begin. This is a season of transition. And we're going to be talking today with someone who is going to help transition you in your energy, in your fitness, and in your mind. And we're going to talk all about that. Let's get to the heart of our show. And I am so excited to welcome my guest today. Her name is Jessica Sheehan Byrne. And Jessica is the creator and owner of SEL Fitness. She's a certified personal trainer, fitness nutrition specialist. She's a teacher. She's a phys ed teacher. She's an educator. She is just awesome all around. So Jess, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. This is great to be here. And I love that you're talking about transitions because this is a time to get it done. And let's figure it out.
It is a time to get it done because there is no time like the present to go through some changes. So Jess, tell me, and tell everyone listening, who are you? Where did you get this idea for SEL Fitness? Tell everybody what's going on.
Well, it all kind of started back in the day when I came out of college and I first was taken under people's wings and I became a personal trainer. And I was working with professional athletes in Maryland and college athletes, and I shifted gears and I wanted to be part of the process of maybe athletes getting to that point. So I started actually first out as a personal trainer, and this has been for the last 20 years.
Wow.
And then through that process, then I come back home to New York from Maryland, and here we go. And I now then become a soccer coach. Was a soccer player in college, and that's where it all streamlined. And then I kind of 1-2 punch the whole personal training thing and being a varsity soccer coach, an assistant varsity soccer coach. And now for the last 12 years, I've worked with Jamie Edson over at Hop Hog, and I'm personal training and assistant varsity soccer coach there, 1-2 punch. And then I become a teacher, physical education teacher. In the last 13 years, I've been a physical education teacher, K through 12 at Hop Hog.
That's awesome.
So now you see those three trifecta results here.
Yeah, let's talk about all of those transitions, right? I mean, personal trainer to educator, to coach to educator, and you were a D1 soccer player, right? And you know the importance of the right fitness plan, right? And the right fitness program. Tell us a little bit about that experience as being a D1 soccer player and how that really shaped you into the person you are right now.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that if I look back on that younger self and it's like, if I just knew then what obviously I know now, because the doing is the easy part.
Right.
The letting go of getting to that next level was something that I too struggled with. So then when I was with my athletes and I'm like, oh my goodness, here it is again.
Right.
I'm older now helping these athletes, and I felt the same exact thing, but it wasn't talked about.
Right.
It was just grind harder, work harder, do more of the same exact thing. Where now through this process of being a personal trainer, a coach, and a teacher is like, if you want more, you got to do differently.
Right. I love that.
And you gotta think it takes a truckload of courage to do it, because people would say, Sheehan, stop being so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but excuse me, that's like number one. Someone said, why don't you just change the color of your eyes then?
Right.
This is who you are. It's actually a tremendous strength of yours, but it actually can be a weakness to where you need to learn the how of letting go.
Right.
And that is something that the drive in me, and the passion, and this goal-oriented seeker, is fantastic, right? It's gotten me to where I am today. So I don't want to relinquish that.
Right.
But then there's even so much more out of my control. That's what I could control. So this has been a process, a comprehensive process of when now people underneath my wings,
right.
I nod to it. I understand it. I have a tremendous amount of empathy for it.
Right.
And me and the client and the teacher and the kids and all of us, we figure it out together because it's this ongoing process. And this arriving is not going to happen. We're not going to tag it.
Right. And that's what is that what the whole SEL Fitness process is about? It's about, what is SEL, first of all?
So SEL, social emotional learning.
Right.
So we see it in school districts. We see it in the classroom. We see it in physical education. We see it across the map because we're trying to evolve the culture within the student, within the person, within the human. It's not a phys ed thing. Personally, I'm a phys ed teacher, but it's a human thing.
Right.
So these concepts are phenomenal and they're awesome because we want a bigger, broader emotional intelligence. So for myself that I connected with was like, I myself at 42 years of age, in order for me to let go, I have to be stimulated just enough so I can let go.
Right.
And then when I look at my 8-year-old in 3rd grade in my phys ed, they need to be stimulated just enough so they can let go.
Right.
So now if we take this 1-2 punch of these phenomenal SEL concepts, do a good old fashioned head fake, and then move them, and now they've come upon this thing of now I have a visceral feeling.
Right.
Now I can reach these positive reservoirs inside of me. Now, no matter what age I am, I'm actually starting to feel, that's what they're talking about of letting go.
Right. And it becomes powerful. Wow, we're going to have such a great show, people. We're going to come back after these commercial breaks. But listen, in the meantime, I want you to go check out Jessica's website at sel.fitness. That's sel.fitness. And go to my website at tommarino.com and fill out a contact form if you are looking for someone to help navigate you through a time of transition. We'll be right back after this break. Hey, this is Tom Marino of The Tom Marino Show here. Imagine you wake up and you've had a major sewer backup in your home. Well, let me tell you about a company that I've worked with personally, New House Restoration, where they take your damaged old house and make it a new house. For any water, fire, mold, or asbestos damage, please call them at 631-604-8590. That's 631-604-8590. New House Restoration. Are you tired of nosebleed seats and extra fees? Do you want premium seats at affordable prices? Hey, this is Tom Marino from The Tom Marino Show, and I want to tell you about the best way to get premium tickets at affordable prices for your next concert, sporting event, comedy show, Broadway show, and if you need them anywhere in the United States, just contact Ticket Time. That's TicketTimeUSA.com, TicketTimeUSA.com, and tell them that Tom Marino sent you. And welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. I'm your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thank you for tuning back in. Happy Thursday, September 22nd. It's a rainy day out there, as we talked about earlier, but it is sun shining beautiful in this studio right now because Jessica Sheehan Byrne is here, who is the owner of SEL Fitness. And right before the commercial break, Jessica and I were talking about what SEL Fitness is, social emotional learning fitness. That's what SEL stands for, social emotional learning. And just, you were talking about the importance of activating kids to let go. Let go of what?
The stress, the anxiety, the pressure, the fog, the tension, the inner critic. All of these things are so real. And when we can teach it as teachers and parents and school districts and administrators, right? We get to then learn it over and over and over again because it's a habit and it's the consistency that truly moves the needle.
Correct.
Because it's a lot of times people tag it.
Right.
They kind of get in, get out.
Right.
But it's the consistency over time that when you can stimulate yourself, use the breath work, feel that pump, create that visceral feeling, and then you start to literally see the tension release, the pressure release,
right, the
anxiety, leaving yourself.
Right.
And now you're coming from a different standpoint now. So this depression is real, even pre-COVID.
Right.
The anxiety, the performance anxiety.
Right.
Right. And a lot of it comes from this doubt and this inner critic.
Right. And kids, process things differently sometimes than adults, right? So like you and I may be depressed or anxious. We're either going to be jittery or not moving at all. And that movement is negative movement. That's not good movement. It's movement that we need to redirect to more positive. And I tell people all the time, I say anxiety is misdirected energy and just needs to be channeled to the right outlet, and bringing it into fitness and into activities. Like, tell us a little bit about what your service is. I know it's a subscription-based video service, but tell people what that's all about.
I love this part because it's actually, being a phys ed teacher, it's actually outside the phys ed room. I'm offering a resource for teachers and school districts to purchase these videos that are actually only 3.5 minutes long. So then they can use in their classroom 3 different types of videos, whichever they choose, how they deem necessary. There might be a 4th grade teacher that's like, first thing in the morning, I gotta have to get my kids up, moving, stimulated, and then the transitions are there. Someone else might be like, no, I like my regular routine, but after lunch, man, they need to come down. I actually will use one of your slower videos because there's standing videos, there's desk videos, there's chair videos for the environment inside the classroom.
Right. And they're safe.
Yes.
Right. It's not going to be disrupted. Nobody's going to be throwing desks around. I mean, it's all about releasing that energy and activating that energy to release all of the negative stuff that they're working through.
And they're prepping the new transition to HIT curriculums. We want kids to be performance-based. We want them to be excelling and overachieving, right? And the teacher wants all this energy, and the teacher's aides and the assistants in the room, right? The affect of these videos are what's like changing gears and moving the needle. Because also, like, a huge perspective of this from my point of view is, let's teach this when the students don't expect it.
Right.
So when you come from an angle, that's where the good old-fashioned head thing comes from, is like, oh, we know we're going to do math now, or I have, we're into the reading part and we go into our centers, which is fantastic. The routine needs to be there.
Right.
But if we press pause, do a reset, have the students like get up and kind of almost shift the perspective for 3.5 minutes. If you have time for a 10-minute slot for it, awesome. Now you can go to the 2 to 3 videos. But you don't have to. You can use it how you deem necessary in your classroom. And then you start seeing, wow, I can be consistent with this as the teacher.
Right.
I can step back and have another voice come in.
Yep.
Teach a tool.
Yep.
Kind of refocus them. Reframe it. So we're not like creating this negative energy that's palpitating forward and kind of disrupting. And now we get more done. People are more on task, saving school districts money.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's all of those soft things that people don't always realize, right? Performance is going to go up. Attention is even going to change because when you're activated properly, I say it's adrenalized, you say it's SEL Fitness. We're talking the same language, right? And being in those places is you're activated, so you're more focused and your vision is actually improved. Your pupils dilate, you see things better. You're able to have a better perspective on the entire situation when you're pumped up and energized, and you're actually attacking your nervous system the right way and gearing your nervous system in the right way.
Yes, I love that. I love that you just said that, because the approach of the videos is kind of comes from 4 different perspectives. Like, let's move the static.
Okay.
Let's like shift the mindset. Let's reset the nervous system, and let's evolve the culture within the student. So it doesn't always come from one angle, right? Like, so we want students to like sit and breathe, like bear breaths, right? 3-part breath is phenomenal. Navy SEALs use it, right? So if people going to battle use this stuff that have been around for hundreds and thousands of years, let's create it. But it's very hard for 4th, 5th, 6th grade just sit and breathe.
Right.
But we can do that if we come from another angle, give a little bit of affect, and we almost kind of head fake them into, wow, I'm actually doing a 3-part breath. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but like, wow. And
there's such the importance of breathing. I mean, breathing just brings you to a whole different level. It calms you down instantly. Anything we do, when we're angry, we're sad, we're happy, everybody says, just breathe. And we do that. But so how do schools get these videos? Tell us how, like, what's your process? How do you get them in there? How do you get them into the classroom for people?
Right, 100%. So I professionally have videographers that I do my videos, and they are put into different categories and libraries. And I use a platform of YouTube that holds the videos. So you go through my website. Okay. So you get in contact with me. I sign you up. I get you into the private library of this content-based evolving subscription, and your school gets a username and password where you have access to it. And then you go in and then you get to choose from the library within SEL.fitness. So your teachers would go on www.sel.fitness.
Yep, good.
Log in, username, password, boom. And then this evolving content underneath the library of the different videos. So there'll be a dance standing.
Yeah.
There'll be a desk, there'll be a chair, and there's actually a quick clip, which will be more like a minute and a half,
right,
which is almost like the traditional like brain break,
right,
where you can kind of get in, get out type of thing. It'll be a little less than 3.5 minutes.
Right. And and teachers can do this when they're struggling.
Yes.
And the teacher themselves can do it with the kids.
That is one of the biggest feedbacks of when I'm like walking into the halls, like, or I walk into another office, like, you're going to do that thing that you do? Like,
right.
I need to move. I'm like sitting too long. I'm in front of the desk, or teacher assistants are in with the classroom doing it. They need a flush. They need a charge of energy. So everyone culturally within the environment is vibing off the affect of what I'm created here.
Right.
And it's pretty cool with the feedback and results.
That is awesome. So like you could do SEL Fitness breaks all throughout the day. You could do it every hour on the hour. School's roughly 6.5 hours a day. If you did this, there's enough video, there's enough content through these subscriptions to be able to fill your day every single day.
100%. And one of the things that's really great from two aspects is like when you repeat the videos, right? So when you're starting to train the brain on another level and we're creating neuroplasticity and we're stimulated and we're trying to create these new pathways, at first, it's not easy. Choreography is not like easy. Footsteps in different planes of motion, right? So I'm stimulating the brain.
Right.
But then also like there's a lot of schools, Tom, that don't meet the physical activity requirement in physical education. It's a mandated thing.
Right.
So there's school districts that are subscribing to this because
as a supplement to that.
As a supplement to that, where they're able to get it in the classroom because phys ed teachers work their tails off.
Right. I mean, it's a great, I know my kids, they have gym 3 times a week, 3 times a cycle. There's a 6-day cycle. They have it 3 times. So there are schools that are not doing that, you're saying, and they're not meeting their requirements. This is a great way to substitute that and create an alternate pathway.
100, and then they're meeting the New York State standard.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And the families and parents are loving it too.
That's great. We're going to come back and continue our conversation with Jessica after our commercial breaks. But in the meantime, go to SEL.fitness. That's SEL.fitness. And you can follow her on Instagram at Sheehan Byrne Fit. That's Sheehan Byrne Fit. And listen, go check out her YouTube channel that does have some free stuff on there. And that is SEL Fitness. SEL Fitness. All right. And if you get a chance, go to tommarino.com or go on Instagram and follow me at Tom Marino Coaching. And I want to hear from you. So just go like and follow one of my posts. And let's get talking a little bit more after this commercial break with Jessica. Talk to you soon. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. Hi, this is Tom Marino, success strategy coach and host of The Tom Marino Show. I want to invite you to join me and make the changes that you desire in your life. If you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, or executive that is struggling with burnout, overwhelm, or stress, then contact me at tommarino.com. That's tommarino.com. I will navigate you to achieve the success you desire. I will introduce you to 6 simple steps that will change your professional and personal life, and I will help you to choose your adrenalized life. An adrenalized life is an action mindset that empowers you to act decisively so that you can be more productive and get more done. If you are stuck, suffer from analysis paralysis, and can't get stuff done, do you want that to change? If the answer is yes, then contact me, Tom Marino, Success Strategy Coach, at tommarino.com. That's tommarino.com. And remember, you can choose your adrenalized life. And welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. I am your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thanks for tuning back in again today. It is September 22nd. and it is 3:38 in the afternoon, and we are live in the studio at MacArthur Airport, and we are having a great conversation with Jessica Sheehan Byrne, who is the owner of SEL Fitness, and Jessica and SEL Fitness are actually sponsoring this part of the show. You can reach Jessica at sel.fitness, that's sel.fitness, or at 631-514-9400, that's 631-514-9400. And SEL Fitness is an awesome subscription-based video service that teaches students the tools to access potential within themselves. It is awesome at creating stress relief for all you teachers out there. So listen, teachers, if you're driving home right now from work and you've had one of those stressful days where your kids were bouncing off the walls and you couldn't manage them and you couldn't handle them and they just drove you nuts, it's because you need SEL Fitness in your classroom. So you're going to need to go talk to your superintendent to get in touch with Jessica at sel.fitness. And Jessica, what are some ways that you bring SEL into different school districts? You know, you're in a school district, you're in Hauppauge, and you're already the phys ed teacher there, so it's easy to bring it into your school. But like, do you go out and speak to other school districts, do other professional development, things like that? Tell me what you do there.
Yeah, I do, 100%. And the superintendent's conference days utilize me to come in and speak to the teachers in different school districts, doing the extra like faculty meetings, warming up crowds, understanding that you're in a professional situation and possibly the culture there wants to, can we stimulate and kind of warm up these teachers and open up their mind to what we're going to be speaking about, learning about,
right?
And get them to kind of loosen up and reset so they can absorb and assimilate all the information that possibly the school district is creating for them. So yes, I'm also presenter at the Suffolk Zone in November for physical education. And that's something that we do during that November time for Superintendent's Conference Day. So I'll be doing a presentation there. Going into live, actually, students' classrooms. Teachers have been asking me, I've been doing your videos. The kids love it. You just have this thing about you, and now can you just come in live and do a pop-in, right? So now I'm able to like connect that, and then the teachers and the students are able to then go home, and then they're transferring, and they're like, I met that girl that was on TV and doing this stuff on the Promethean board. We do it every day. And then she came into my class and it was a surprise. And the gratitude is off the charts in both different directions.
It's awesome. And it's so positive, and you're so pumped, and you have this energy about you that is infectious. I mean, it is totally infectious. It's more infectious than COVID. You have this incredible energy that you're bringing. And, tell us a little bit more about like the content of the videos. What is like social emotional learning fitness? What does that content really look like? Right.
So as I'm going through it, because sometimes when you just do movements, people like to put it like, they're like, what is this? Right? Like they try to put it in pockets or in different segments. So if I'm doing like a downward dog, that's like, oh, that must be yoga, right? Or if someone does a burpee, like, oh, that must be CrossFit. Or if you're moving to music, oh, they put like quotes around it, like, oh, that must be just Zumba. Okay, whatever. I've seen that before. But when we do that, it's like, okay, if we want more, we're going to do differently. And here's the content of then what the movement does, because the pressing pause of what I'm looking for is like, all right, it's not the way, first of all.
Right.
It's a way. And that's super important, is that when I'm connecting, is that I'm pulling these things for within myself is like, all right, a yoga term that you hear all the time if you do yoga is like skipping stones and sending ripples. Awesome. But let's start off the video. Like, what are you putting into this stone? And I actually use it because our mind works in pictures.
Right.
So in the beginning of the video, I'm actually showing a stone. Like, what do you choose to put in this? It's your choice.
Okay.
Right. So the students are like, okay, what is she? I'm in. Like, am I putting love into it? Am I putting the kindness that my teacher's been talking about? Am I going to give and receive this infectious positive cycle? Right. Like, that's another thing. Sometimes feeling locked up. Students feel locked up all the time. They feel stuck, the fog, and then the teacher's like, I feel like that too, actually.
Yeah, we all feel like that. I was like, I could think of every single one of my clients feeling like that. I think I'm going to have to do some of these videos with my clients while I'm working in a session with them.
Because there's a situation where I have like a treasure chest that I show, and it's like, it's locked up, but there's so much in there that we can still access. And the simple things move the needle, but people don't want to believe. All my clients for 20 years is like, it can't be that simple if I'm just consistent with it, right? Another thing, how about like, let's magnify the positive.
Love that.
Take the actual magnifying glass. I show it to you in the video, and let's put it on your body. So like, we're creating a better whole so all the parts of us can benefit. It's a comprehensive approach.
Right. That's beautiful.
Right. So that's something critical that I'm consistently saying from different perspectives.
You know, what I hope people are realizing as you're talking, Jess, is you're not just changing the moment for these kids. You're not just changing the moment for the teacher. You're changing their lives, period. Right? They're going to be kinder people. They're going to be more giving people. They're going to be more positive people with these interventions. That's what this content is really bringing about. That's how it's resonating for me.
And I appreciate that big time, because anyone that truly knows me, they hear me talk about this give and receive loop.
Yep.
It's a loop that just is continuous. And before I can give you a high five,
right,
I have to give myself a high five.
Amen. And I say that all the time. Yeah. Take care of you first.
That's a very hard thing.
Yes, it is a very hard thing. But I think what you're doing, I mean, you are channeling people's emotion. You're helping them to be more aware of their emotion. You're creating that awareness. And I, as a coach, what do people come to me for? They come to me to create awareness, to develop their self-awareness, and to change their perspectives. Mm-hmm. You're doing the exact thing through fitness and through the content in these videos. Mm-hmm. And it is transformational work that you're doing.
Thank you for that. That's powerful. And to hear it like that, it resonates with you like that.
Absolutely.
Is because the feedback of the people that trust me, that when I'm putting it out there, have it be an 8-year-old, a 17-year-old, yeah, a 35-year-old, a 55-year-old, the consistency is this is real.
Yes.
And sometimes people have 2 times a week they can take out the garbage, right?
Yep.
Let's take out the garbage and actually see, and instead of it being a chore, right? Yep. I use this analogy. Mm-hmm. Load up the garbage can, drag it out to the curb 2 times a week, and actually see you incinerating it. Get rid of it.
Well, right. You got to get rid of it. And, you know, I talked about a couple episodes ago, feeling all your feelings and the importance of releasing your emotions and literally putting all of your emotions into a bag and tossing it aside, getting rid of it, imagining, seeing what it looks like. Because if you can put a picture, like you said, putting a picture is so critical to this, and you can actually visualize and see it, it changes the whole dynamic of how you relate to it. And it allows you to let go. It allows you to release. And that's what you are doing with your videos. So, Jess, tell people why they need this in their schools. What is the thing?
People are craving results, change, affect. They're craving, can something just come in and disturb this rote, everyday, bogged down, dragging knuckles? Why am I so blah? Why is this going on and on and on, and nothing is disturbing it? But yet we're still demanding so much of ourselves.
Right.
And that need is real. And people as humans, regardless of the age or gender or wherever you come from, is the culture, this is palpable. And I've pressed play on something that is breeding results. Yep. And I'm super proud to be able to reach out to not only, Hop Hog has been a phenomenal support system, from the superintendent of Don Murphy to Kristen Reingold, principal at my first elementary school, to the athletic director of Dan Butler, to my good old fashioned bro, Jamie Edson, to my colleagues that are so supportive there, that they're like, go. Yep. This needs to be outside just this one school district, because this is truly affecting people. It's changing people. The life skills kids need it. The special education programs need it. The enrichment programs, the movement therapy, that is all part of it.
Yep.
People are craving something different, so we can truly move forward and move the needle and get some results.
Well, Jess, you are transforming the world. And check out SEL.Fitness. All you teachers out there, all of you teacher aides, go to SEL.Fitness, find out more about Jessica and her program, and introduce it into your district. Bring it to your superintendent. Bring it to that office. All right, we're going to come back and continue our conversation with Jessica right after these commercial breaks. And welcome back to the Tom Marino Show. I am your host, Mindset and Success Strategy Coach Tom Marino. Thank you for tuning back in. And we have had an incredible show today. But before we wrap up this last segment, I just want to remind everyone that September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, please call or text 988. That's 988. You could also chat at 988lifeline.org, 988lifeline.org. And, listen, there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff, and people are feeling defeated. And we don't want people to feel defeated. We want to show hope, but it's hard for people to see that are living in that darkness. So if you know someone going through a difficult time right now, please encourage them to reach out for help at 988. That's 988. And, it's amazing. I mean, that's the new suicide hotline number. They changed it to make it so simple. 988, give them a call and you can talk to anyone and they will help you. The key is to reach out and to get the help that you need. And, we've been talking all afternoon about the importance of redirecting our emotions to being beneficial and moving around and activating our bodies. And, it's the same when you're stuck and stagnant, when you are having a difficult time, motion is one of the ways to start to move and move on and get out of that. So Jess, thank you so much for being here today and for sponsoring this part of the show. This part of the show has been sponsored by Jessica Sheehan Byrne and SEL Fitness, and that's SEL.fitness. SEL.fitness is the website, and you could also find her personal training at Sheehan Byrne Fit on Instagram. Sheehan Byrne Fit on Instagram, and check out her YouTube videos on SEL Fitness on her YouTube channel, which is SEL Fitness. Now, Jess, we've been talking the whole time about this, and it is just transformational work that you've been doing. What are some other things that you want people to know about you and why you're doing what you do?
This connects the empathy in me. Like if I really can say like my I amness is that I'm a powerful energy and a sensitive spirit. And when I'm connecting with people is that I come from a place that I understand and I don't judge. It's real. And I'm not trying to dismiss the realness of it, because you just said motion. Because it's like moving this hormonal soup of what's going to really breed results. Like I'm extremely results driven.
Right.
And I've navigated and I'm still navigating and figuring out the process of how to gain these results for each individual as I'm working on my craft.
And everybody is going to respond to this differently. Because we're not all wired the same way. And I see that in coaching. You see that in fitness. We see it all the time. You have to cater to the needs of the kid. You have to cater to the needs of the person.
100%.
And some things are going to work better than others. But the potential that this program, that these videos, that this whole concept has are tremendous. They're infinite, that I can just see. We're going to have healthier minds. We're going to have healthier bodies. We're going to have healthier human beings.
And healthier families.
And
because they're transferring these tools. Like that's something that's super important is that, yes, if you put me in a box, I'm a phys ed teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. Yeah. But I'm actually saying, let's go and let's transfer this into the classroom. Let's transfer it back home. Yep. Let's have the parents say, guardians, whoever's taking care of these students, like, what was the theme today? What was the content? What was SEL talking about today? Because families have a hard time of waking up and setting an intention for the day.
Oh my God, tell me about it. I mean, you have two kids running all around, getting your day started, and then they come home and they start fighting with each other. And it's like, go to your room, go watch TV, go play a video game, go read a book, go do your homework.
Or I got to feed you, and we have to run out, and we have to go to the 18 different sports you have to go to, or dance and this and religion and this.
Exactly.
And it's the runaround, and people are cooked.
Yep, and they are cooked.
Yeah,
and the parents need this as much as the kids. So I encourage every parent out there that's listening to this right now, go to SEL.fitness, because Jessica's going to figure out something, how to get this into the homes of people. Because this is so necessary. This is so necessary for our well-being. We talk about wellness all the time. This has applications, Jess, for corporate America.
And people have reached out for it because, like I said, it's not a phys ed thing. We're not chasing the skinny here. It's a human It's a human thing where we're looking for people to be high performers, productive, on task, behavioral, right? Like behave yourself and be a good human
and get performance and productivity up and be stimulated and be happy about what you're doing, because endorphins are going to kick in here. You're stimulating the positive effects of adrenaline. You're stimulating that. You're alleviating some of those pains, those emotional pains, as well as those physical pains. But the emotional pain that people are going through, you're activating a change in their nervous system that is allowing them to respond more positively towards themselves, right? You mentioned no judgment. I tell people all the time, this is a place where you can be yourself without judgment, because I frankly don't really care what you do. All my job is to navigate you to get to where you want to be.
100%.
And I don't need to have past judgment, because you don't need my judgment. If you want my advice, I'll give you my advice.
And here are some tools.
And here are the tools to get there.
And the consistency, right? Like that's where we do some of these things. There are phenomenal physical education programs all over Long Island. And that's where you say, okay, you do it there for a hot second. It's teaching the tools where the students can access themselves and the potential within them. And you're teaching them how, because so many students, moms, teachers, athletes, you talk about this stuff of performance anxiety, stress, the mindset, social emotional learning. And honestly, what made me press play on this was, okay, great. The client, the student, the person, that's great. I understand, but how? How do I start to navigate this? Because the tools of this, and when you layer on the consistency, that's when the emotional intelligence starts, the paradigm starts to shift, the culture within starts to evolve itself. But as adults and professionals, we know it's not going to be a one-time thing.
No. And
that's where the critical of moving the needle of like the culture along at schools and at home needs to evolve.
Right, because it's habit formation, right? We're creating new habits. You're creating new habits through your videos. You're helping people to create habits. And in order to create the habit, you have to do it over and over and over. Jess, it has been awesome having you here in the studio. Your energy, like I said, is infectious. You are transforming. You're a revolutionist, right? You are revolutionizing how we approach dealing with our emotions to bring us to a place that's positive. And I thank you for that. So just tell everyone, how is the best way to get in touch with you? How do they reach out to you? Give us all your information and we'll go from there.
First off, I want to thank you. Tom Marino Coaching 100% has brought me to a place that this has become even more clear and evident to me that I need to forge forward with this. I spend a lot of time at Tom Marino Coaching on your website, tommarino.com, and seeing how different professionals are collaborating, overlapping, and recognizing that there's just not one way. It's a way of truly reaching people. So for myself, my cell phone is 631-514-9400. That's 631-514-9400. My YouTube is SEL Fitness. That's SEL Fitness. There's presentations on there. There's live testimonials. You'll see different things. They're about 6-7 minutes. There's demos on that YouTube channel for you to try it out in your classroom. My at Sheehan Byrne Fit, and Byrne is Byrne. So that's Sheehan Byrne Fit for my Instagram. That's Twitter. That's TikTok, which the kids love that I absolutely do. And my email, last thing, is jsheehan, SHEEHAN 10 at earthlink.net.
Awesome. Thank you, Jess, for being here today. I'm so thrilled that you were here, and we're going to have you back. So listen, if you want to reach out to Jess, go to sel.fitness. That's her website. And listen, if you are an entrepreneur, solopreneur, you're struggling, you're stuck, these tools that Jessica was talking about all day are tremendous and will definitely help you. And listen, if you're really stuck and want to navigate through and you don't know what to do, reach out to me at tommarino.com. That's tommarino.com. Or go on Instagram and contact me at Tom Marino Coaching. That's Tom Marino Coaching. And if you want, 516-588-0750. Give us a call at 516-588-0750. And until next time, this is Tom Marino saying, choose your adrenalized life.
Because I'm happy.